Okay, sorry about that. I did not mean to do what I just did. I just pressed... what did I just press? I pressed end stream. I don't know why. So, I'm going to play some Enigmatic. It's been a while. Let's rent the deck. Let's update Stream Decker as well while we're at it. So, we will start with deleting that piece of crap. And maybe we edit our... let's upload this new export. Let's do it. Let's stream a league. Let's tell people in Discord that that's what we're doing. Hi guys, I'm streaming another league after my Kiki deck failed. Sweet. Let's rock and or roll. One or the other. It was fun to mess around with Interlight for a little bit, but I'd probably just bench that for now. Or forever. Never forever. That's a lie. I like Interlight. I like Kiki Jikis. So yeah. We try again. This headset's quite uncomfortable. It's new because I hoped it would improve my sound quality. Not sure if it is doing or not. Right. So... So anyway, I haven't played Enigmatic for a few days, maybe a week. It's not had the urge, but we got Sam Black in our Discord, which was a real boost to, like enjoyment and interest and what have you. So yeah, we get to try and beat all these terrible matchups, but we're actually able to do it some of the time. We 5-0'd a few times now, 3 or 4 times pretty easily. I say pretty easily, like it's easily been 3 or 4 times from me personally, and then there's others in the group that have as well. So I think Zagoth try is good here, followed by Brain Maggot, followed by Plains. Let's do a Misty Rainforest stack. Don't really need that open. Okay, let's stick with what we said we were going to do. We've already started to flood. Oh, gross. Get it out of here. Let's take the Mana Leak. Don't know why I thought about that for so long. Hex Drinker. Yes, sir. We will be bouncing that with a Teferi, please. And, they probably attack it with a Noble Hierarch. And that's just the way things are today. But we don't care because we have Enigmatic. And that's bon appetit. Oh, they drew a counter spell? Lame. Lame. Okay, wow, it's been a while since I've played this deck, and so I'm bound to tap the mana wrong. Anyhow, I'm not going to run this into a Snapcaster. That's silly. No need. They played... No! Okay, so they would have had Mana Leak. Fatal Push into Mana Leak, so I'm glad we didn't just run this out blindly. But we are now, they can now level this up a bit. I was meant to flash in the Omen of the Sea. Oh, yuck. At least it's 50-50, I might get to keep it. Nope. Yuck. At least we could do this and then play Skyclave. And play that Mana Leak. But they can Fatal Push it, but obviously... Go on, Mana Leak that. I didn't think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are they at this stage where they can double Mana Leak? That'd be upsetting. Oh. So they are going to snap. Snap that. Okay. Okay, well... I mean, I can kind of cope with that. I've turned what can potentially be a game-winning card into a 1/1 token. Yes, they can Mana Leak, snap Mana Leak now, so that's an issue. That I'm not sure how to correct. I guess I run this out again. See if I can bait their Mana Leak. I failed to. So let's play land, play Yo-Yon. Pass. Okay. Don't think I should block, but I'm not sure. Pretty sure I shouldn't. Yeah, maybe I should have Skyclaved this. Unless it might have been the right thing to do. Kind of want the red source. Okay. It's the first Mana Leak. Let's play this. Say go. We can certainly pay for... Hey mate, how's it going? Lafette. I don't know if we have met before. Alright then. Let's try resolve one of these spells. We know they have Snap Mana Leak. We don't know what else they have. Assumingly something that stops this, but maybe not. We don't actually have a ton of 2-drops that are great here, but Scavengers certainly would be okay in the face of Snapcaster. Okay, well, I'm going to pay this but I know they're going to snap it back. But this kind of, not quite guarantees, but it's not far off guaranteeing me an Enigmatic next turn. Or they're at least down to 1 card, so... And it also tells me that they don't have... what am I about to say? Like something like Cryptic right now. They might in their draw step, obviously, but if they had it now, it'd be in play, I would think. I take full responsibility. It's a risk I'm willing to take. Yeah, I remember. On the Discord. Yeah. That second hierarch is freaking annoying. Do we have Spell Pierce over hard counters? Why do we have Spell Pierce? It's just because it's quite hard to have 6 mana up, and by the time you do, quite often, yeah, Thoughtseize is a reasonable choice, but the problem I have with Thoughtseize is that I don't tend to run a lot of black mana in my lists. If you have a slightly more, then yeah, do it for definite. But so yeah, Thoughtseize is fine. I like Spell Pierce just because by the time I have 6 mana for Enigmatic plus Veto, they can have Cryptic plus Mana Leak. Whereas if you go at 5 mana, they might tap out for Cryptic and you can tag up the Spell Pierce. It's kind of minor, to be honest. There's not much in it. I think we just get Scavengers, but let's just have a look. Yeah, I like Scavengers quite a bit. Turns off future Snapcasters. That's annoying. Right, it's worse when they have 2 counter spells, but you get to do it turn sooner. So if they only have 5 mana, it's much better. I'm going to just gain some life and eat that Mana Leak, actually. It's just about when it happens on the curve. It's nothing to do with the quality of the card. It is better to have the full set of Veils against blue decks, but I've been Spell Piercing against Tron and combo decks. Amulet maybe, but definitely Tron. So I register Spell Pierce, 1 because I love the card, and 2 because it's a catch-all. I know Maud runs just more Veil of Summers. I think you can go at any which way you want, in short. I'm going to just die here. I guess I could get my own... Oh, actually, that's pretty sweet. I'm going to sacrifice Abundant Growth, get Phantasmal Image, copy Ice Fang, and then I can crack this for Snow Covered if I want Death Touch. And so if you want to kill my Phantasmal Image, be my guest. They're going to have an Inquisition and I'm going to lose this card. And I'm going to be sad. The writing is on the wall, as they say. But Ice Fang is decent here. they attacking? I'm going to block with my Ice Fang and hope they don't have a discard spell. I'm not that optimistic, if I'm honest. Yeah, I'm really not that optimistic. But the beauty of this line is that I can recast this as another Ice Fang if I get my... Oh, come on. Stick. Stick, 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 stick. If it doesn't stick, we're kind of dead. Dead to, like... close. I'm kind of just at chump block mode now, which is kind of lame. So, look, I mean... You can run a full set of Veil if you want to beat the blue decks. You can run... you can run Dovin's Veto if you want to, but I wouldn't. I'd run Veil over them. I find, like, Spell Pierce against decks like Tron a little easier to cope with because... basically... You can't always hold 2 mana up all game. That's really hard to do. Man, we would love like a Lewis or a Valia. We'd love it to resolve. We're dead in 8 turns, so I have 8 turn. These damn Hierarchs. Deputy Detention would be decent. Just take out the Hierarchs. Ninjutsu. Yeah, like, right now, Summoner's Pact would be awful. Whenever when a turn of 2, make players go out paying mana cost. We're dying. Yeah, now it'd be awful. Which is why I would never run 4 of the card. Ooh. What on earth? I don't know. What do I do? What do I do? I mean, I sack Spreading Seas. I go get... Probably Valia for Scavenging Ooze, maybe. I could just Deputy all the Ice Fangs. All the Hierarchs. Let's Valia back the Scavenging Ooze. There's actually not too many creatures to eat. Oh, this could have been a big mistake. Skyclave, Lewis, Baymaga. I can still gain 2. It'll put me to 5. Yeah, I'm gonna just do it. Let's put Powell on the board, get Scavenging Ooze. It's a bit of utility, what have you. Not quite dead. I didn't think I was dead. Oh, you got Cryptic Tap the team. I would assume they're a Cryptic deck. Right. This is an easy one. We just block with the Phantasmal Image. Yeah, we could have. It passed through my mind. Certainly could have. I just like the fact that I now have a couple of half-decent attacks. I mean, they're not exactly high on health themselves. Can I sack that? No. So we just value again, and then we can maybe we do it this time. But honestly, just like, yeah, like we copy the value, we get back Charming Prince, and then we flicker. This just can't kill me. It's on 4. I'm just making value chains that they can't deal with. We got there. Let me just message the missus quickly. Okay. Let's see how bad my spell pierces are. I like Fulminate. That's one of the reasons I've added it. And I don't really think I changed a ton of things. I drop Eidolon, Magus, and Trial. I don't think they're great. This isn't amazing. Neither's Night of Autumn. Let's try that. Middling Mage is okay. I drop a bird for Middling. No, on the play. Like, the thing here is that they're obviously trying to ninjutsu some stuff in, so we should try and keep at least some removal that's instant speed removal. We don't want the sorcery speed crap. Not a great hand mana wise. Like an Inquisition. Yeah, I could certainly see an argument for that. To be honest, I made a few meta changes and I just failed miserably, so I just went back to like a fairly stock list. And Eidolon's not always one of the worst cards, but it just wins you some games that you wouldn't win otherwise. Because I'm not sure how Champion falls into that category. I think often if you... I mean, yes, it's good against the Burn decks and the Swift Spear decks, obviously. Not arguing that. But yeah, I just think there's spots where they're not great. They're not as impactful as the Eidolon when you're trying to steal a game. It's much better when you naturally draw that champion, whereas Eidolon is tutorable at the right time. Trial is... I mean, I personally wouldn't run Path just because we have main deck Magus. So I just never have. I just don't like it. I did run it for a bit actually, but I just don't like it. Trial is... I mean, it's just fun with Valia for a start, and it's different to Omen of the Forge because it can take out Death Shadows and stuff, but it's not amazing. It is not amazing. You play them cards like paying their mana costs. Jesus Christ. I wanted those lands so badly. I actually can't cast anything. I'm actually scooping. It's just fine. I mean, I don't run multiples because it's... it's like, no, not particularly good against Hylioid because it's sorcery speed. It's not particularly easy to cast. It's not a colour I want to fetch early. So it has a few things against it for sure. But it hits stuff that the Omen of the Forge and Seal of Fire don't. So I think it's fine. I used to run like 3 or 4 and it just wasn't good enough. It doesn't have flash, there's quite a few points against it. But there's enough points for it as well, so it's another one of those cards which you could just take it or leave it, really. It sounds pretty decent. Don't love that, but what they're going to do? Take the good card or take the card that I can get instant value from? I'll do the instant value card, okay. Well, in that case, I will pick up my Yo-Yon. I will get value out of something at some point. Okay. Well, again, take your pick. It's not a great draw, and potentially both that and Reflector Mage should not be in the deck at this stage. You can argue for either, but probably not both. Like, Seal of Fire is probably better than Meddling Mage. I was going to swap Meddling Mage with the Bird on the play, where the one drop's less important, and I forgot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I did run Witness for quite a long time. What I found was with Witness, I only ever pick up, well, 3 things that I pick up. Lewis is number 1. Number 2 is... I just turned on Fatal Push, that's funny. So number 1 was Lewis. Number 2 was Yo-Yon. But I could just run another copy of either of those. I could just put a main deck Yo-Yon. It would do something very similar to main deck Witness. I could run... So I could either pick up Yo-Yon, pick up Witness, or sometimes spell Pierce or Veil of Summer or Seal of Fire. You know, the stuff that interacts. Go on, tap out. I'm going to play Enigmatic. Hope it's good. Probably isn't. Honestly. You would think they have Force of Negation here, wouldn't you? Why did they keep 1 mana up? It's probably for Fatal Push. But let's try and get this resolved. Yes. Stage 1. Stage 2 is trying to find some enchantments. That's only a 2-1. Not blocking anytime soon, so let's do this. I think it could be Brain Maggot. I think they'll have Fatal Push. So maybe I shouldn't. But I think Maggot. I think this gets pushed like 9 times out of 10. They could have leveled up and they didn't. Oh wow, okay. Okay, Plague Engineer it is. I hate this. Like, what is protection from this? What is it? Spyro is really good. I like it. I've run it probably 2 or 3 leagues, and it's just so bad when you draw it naturally, and so good the rest. Like, okay, not so good the rest of the time, but good some of the time. What the hell does Hexdrinker say? I just don't know. Protection from instants. Okay, so I can eat it with the Skyclave. I'm sorry to disappoint everyone, but I am going to be disappearing after this game. I'll come back later tonight, hopefully. Right, come on, deck. I kind of think, just in general, it's not an effect we need. Glasspool Mimic, copy Brain Maggot, look at your hand again, eat. Oh. Alright, I accept that you scoop. I would probably have eaten the Fallen Shinobi, but then sat to the Brain Maggot for Skyclave. It's good to be back. It's good to be winning games of Magic. It's been a while. Is Cosmo really good? Maybe I should try Cosmo. It's like 3 people saying that they like Cosmo, and I've not tried it, so it's probably telling me something. And I have slots to play with here, like this card, this card. No, I want to keep that, but this card. 3 is a good number of people, especially when there's only 3 people chatting in the chat. If 3 people out of 3, yeah, that's a good sign. I like all of this and this. So I have like 77 of my main deck pretty nailed on. The thing is, with a card like Trial of Ambition, if I don't run it main deck, I just won't run it at all. Whereas a card like Seal or Eidolon would just slot into the sideboard. So that makes me always lean to just cutting this card. Because if I, for example, if I leave this here, move this to the sideboard, then I now have to make a cut from my list, and I don't really want to make a cut because I like my sideboard. So instead, I just cut the Trial with the 12th enchantment. I'm not sure that's true. 8, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 2-drops. Without that, I have 4, 8, 10 1-drops. I mean, the 2 mana ones are the thing that make the deck tick for sure. But I've 5-0'd plenty of times without this card in the list. And sometimes I run Litherform Blight instead. And sometimes I don't run any enchantment. But yeah. You know, if I put that there, I'm going to move one of these into the main because I quite like the mix of cards I have in this sideboard. That'd probably be Alright Champion, and then I'd probably cut the Trial. But that's not where I am right now. I'm here with no Cosmo. Still playing Aether. I mean, that's fine. I added Fulminator because I think it's good against control. It's a card that I'm happy to see against control, and also a card that is really good against big mana, obviously. And often Tron can beat 1 Magus the Moon, so can Amulet. So having a Fulminator or you know, other stuff that you can do is nice. I know it doesn't, but it doesn't have to. You know, you're just slowing people down until you can close out the game. Magus is the first thing you find, and if they answer it, you go find Fulminator. Or even if they don't, sometimes you find Fulminator so that you can preempt removal. Anyway, I mean, also, it's not just about Fulminator. Isn't just about tutoring it up. It's about it being reasonable to naturally draw. You know, when you don't have your Enigmatic, like, okay, if you're playing Tron here, you have 5 cards that are good if you don't have Enigmatic. Yeah, of course, they have time, but we're buying ourselves time to find an answer, because Enigmatic's a 4-drop, and if you don't do anything, I mean, look at how I've built my deck. I mean, it started out with 5 drops that you could search up. It started out with 3-drop enchantments that could search up 4s, and I just cut all of it. We're just trying to buy time to get to 4. And Oof does buy time against Tron. I totally agree, but it's not good against control, and I find control matches quite tough. So that's why the Fulminators come in, because it's good against 2 different decks that I care about. You know, against Tron, I'm bringing in Spell Pierce, I'm bringing in Lavinia, I'm bringing in Fulminator, and I already have Magus, Spreading Seas, Enigmatic. And alright, the rest of this is pretty shitty. Bane Maggot's decent, Meddling Mage is decent. So I have all of this main deck, and I have these in the side. If this was Collector Roof, it's good against Tron, definitely. But then when I'm playing Control, and I don't have that. So it's just an extra card for a matchup that I care about. I think it's pretty reasonable. To be honest, I haven't had a ton of success with the card, or a ton of even I haven't seen it a lot. I haven't drawn it a lot. So it could be a lot of rubbish. It's just the way I tend to build my decks, which is generally a flaw in my deck building, but I tend to pick cards that are you will get a game, but I've just registered for a league. I've got 4 more matches to go before I can re-register, and my missus just called to have some help with the kid. So I need to go. I need to end the stream and hopefully come back again in an hour or so. But Cosmo will come in for the Child Ambition will get cut, the Alright Champion will go main, the Eidolon will come to the side, probably. But yeah, what I was saying was that most of my deck building is I tend to build lower curved than most people, and also I tend to want flexible cards. So, you know, Spell Pierce because it's flexible. On Thin Eyes isn't as powerful as Sealer's Fire, but it's more flexible. Fulminate Mage is a flexible answer to Control and Tron, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I think the control matchup's fine. We just beat a control deck. I think it's a fine matchup. I just if I can pick a card that adds, you know, one extra card that helps a tough matchup, then that's good. Realistically, the hardest matchups are Blue Red Prowess and Spirits. They're the two hardest by a country mile. I feel pretty good against the rest of the format in general. I didn't even feel too bad against the Cascade decks. Yeah, it's good there, but it's also really hard to cast in that matchup because they have Field of Ruin. I mean, adding the basic mountain helps with that. And again, like, what would you cut for it? If I'm cutting this for Cosima and I then have to cut that, it is also a good target for Imogen. Yeah, it is. Spyro's good. Like, it's a really solid card. The thing with Season Pyro really is that every time I've naturally drawn it, it's been mostly inconvenient because you're not trying to make double red ever. You're always trying to make double white and green and blue. So you have a Bant deck first, then a red, then a black. So I find that it's really awkward when you naturally draw it. And then when I start to think about it as a tutor target, it's sort of like, well, there's definitely spots where it's good. But also, as a value card, Lewis is better. And Valia is on a par, especially if there's a Phantasmal Image in the bin. And in terms of, like, gumming up the board, Reflector Mage and Kitchen Finks do a decent job of that as well. So, realistically, I find it a card that is awkward to cast and not something that my mana base supports, and a card that I don't find myself tutoring up enough to warrant having bad draws. I like Voice. I've played it as a one-off a few times. Look, if you run Season Pyromancer in your list, you will not see a huge fall-off in your win rate. Just my experience. I kept adding it and cutting it. I kept wanting it to be good and kept playing it, and it just wasn't good enough, so I kept having to cut it. So my thing is, like I said, I kind of explained it all, really. I didn't find that I wanted to tutor it up often enough, and when I naturally drew it, I just hated it. I hated it sitting in hand. There's very few cards in here that I've struggled to cast. Child of Ambition actually being one of them. And Bay Maggot. Bay Maggot's worth it because it's good enough. Child of Ambition, I'm not sure if it is good enough. But it's okay. It's okay because, you know, often you will want to get a black source eventually. But, yeah. Hey, mate, how are we doing? As you've joined at a real bad time, I'm about to log off. I'll try and get back on in about an hour if you guys are still about, but I've got some parenting to do. Also helps when not drawing enchantments. Yeah, exactly, and you can turn a 1 into a 3 eventually and stuff. Tell me, Zach, what's going on? I'm just wrapping up editing an episode of Seven Visions. Nice. The deep dive on this deck. Oh, nice. Oh, you're coming out the loop, man. Rough. That is rough. Marder has more insight than me. I'm just joking. He told me you stream. Oh, nice. Sweet. Yeah, I try to. Real life is tough to fit in streaming around, but I mean, I just I just streamed an 03 with a Kiki Jiki deck. But yeah, how lucky I am. You're very lucky to be able to watch my dreadful streams. But yeah, sweet. I look forward to try and get Mod to link the Sound Vision thing. Nice, thanks for the follow, mate. Yeah, get him to link me the Sound Visions podcast. Is that what it is? Podcast? Yeah. I'm sure I've seen it a few times. No, I don't. I'm joking. I'm just winding you up, mate. Like, I think a lot of people. I think Maud's quite a well-known character in the Niv, yeah, in the Niv Discord and stuff. So he gets a little more credit for this list. And so, but realistically, Maud has put in. I don't think he's put in more work than me, but he found more tech than I have. Like he took it from. I started it. I can find. I have to find it now that we've got onto this. But I many moons ago, in September-ish, I posted about Enigmatic Incarnation. That was my first 5-0, but that was ages ago. Enigmatic is a toolbox. I mean, that is a bunch of words. So I started this 11 months ago. Jesus. So, yeah, history lesson. I started... The list won't be there anymore because I keep my MTG goldfish very clean and empty. I mean, I could drop this link into chat, but it's very... like I say, the MTG goldfish thing won't work because I deleted it. But my first list was using Zer the Enchanter and an Enigmatic Incarnation. And I'd had some experience brewing with Zer the Enchanter, and I thought, oh, let's just put them together. They both like enchantments, that's cool. And it was pretty cool, but what I found was that if I ever got one of my 4 drops to stick, I could win the game. But if I didn't, I lost. But then I found out that Zer wasn't sticking because it was easy to interact with, but Enigmatic was sticking because it's hard to interact with. So I was winning more games because of Enigmatic than Zer the Enchanter, which wasn't what I was expecting. And that's when I started working more on the Enigmatic list and cutting all the other Zer stuff out and sort of tuning the list. But I never got anywhere near this. I had like a lower... So I was 60 cards, actually. I couldn't make a 80 card list work. I tried. I was always 5 colour and a Magus of the Moon. That was kind of like... That base was like, I know this is good. What else do we need to put with it? And at first, my 60 card list were getting like 60% win rates. I was doing like 3 2s all the time, throwing some 4 1s and 2 3s, but I never felt like I was ever going to 5-0. Yeah, it was... The 80 card came about because I posted the list in the Niv Discord, and Woozer and Maud was like, you need to throw Niv in here. I was like, oh. I was like, oh yeah, I could throw Niv in here. I was running Oath of Chaos already. I was running just all sorts of crap. But I was like, yeah, let's throw Niv in. And I added an Ice Fang. I think, in fact, I already had Ice Fang. Yeah, Magus is amazing in this list. It's so fun. So yeah, and look, there's like, I mean, I don't think I had Teferi. I didn't have a Fletcher measures in and out. Yeah. But yeah, like, So Niv took us to 80 cards, and it took us to Yorion, and it made the deck better. And then we realised that the thing that made the deck better wasn't the Niv, and we had to cut that. And then we added some different fives, and that wasn't any good. And we just went blah blah blah, and then we got here. So most of this came about because the Niv guys said put Niv in your deck, and that made the deck better without having the Niv. 80 cards for toolbox, just brilliant. This list is great. I think it's really solid. I really do genuinely think that this deck is good enough. Good enough to like compete with everything in the format. Like everything in the format has bad matchups, so we can have a bad matchup as well. And we do. We have a couple of blue-red prowess being the worst, but like I feel pretty good against the rest of the format. So yeah, the deck's sweet. Anyway, did I see a challenge this week about partly to a big punt in round 2? I could have been 1-1. Yeah, well, I did something similar the week before. I went 1-3 drop, but just played like garbage. Yeah, I've got to go. Let me go. I just can't stop talking. My apologies. Anyway, thanks for popping in. I will see you all later. Bye. Bye for now. Bye.